Hello everyone, welcome to Candy Corn Club. I know October's over, but I still have to have my pumpkins and some things up to represent Thanksgiving, one of my favorite holidays. But I thought I'd upload something, even though October is sadly over. But I ended up making my first latex mask this year for Halloween, for my Halloween costume. And I gotta say, it turned out really good. There was a lot that I could have done better throughout the whole process. I documented some things. I didn't document as much as I wanted to, but here's a little bit of me just kind of suffering through the process because this is not a tutorial by any means. This is not a tutorial. Um, but I kind of did my research and took inspiration from a couple different methods online, especially on YouTube. Distortions is fantastic. I probably am going to go more with their method going forward when I make masks in the future because this is something I really want to do year round and especially during Halloween. Um, but I made Art the Clown. I figured that it was kind of a good starting point uh, as far as masks go because there's some really difficult ones out there. But this is, I thought was kind of a good place to start. Sorry, pumpkin. Um, so enjoy me suffering through the process of making Art the Clown. Again, not a tutorial. This is just my crazy endeavors. A couple of days before Halloween too, I was kind of trying to decide which character to do. I had a few floating around in my mind, so I finally settled on one. And I don't have video of me in the outfit and the mask and everything, but I have some cool photos that I'm gonna add at the end. So enjoy and make fun of me and my crazy logic and process of making Art the Clown. Thank you for subscribing to Candy Corn Club, and I hope you all enjoy. I have my Jack Skellington onesie on for emotional support. Here's what they look like. Here's the plaster. This is gonna make all the stuff not stick to my face. This is very important. Yeah. So it comes in a big roll for each one. Scary. The first two strips were on. I cut a strip about this thick in half. And it's on my head. Just to see if I have an allergic reaction to it. I'm stressed. So it's kind of gross, but you just like wet it and try to not make sure it clings together. And then you put this on your face. This is great. This is so great. Stuck to the side of my hairs. Even though I cut a lot of Vaseline on. It's me. Okay, so it's morning now, and I let this rest overnight. Also, I forgot last night to cover up the nostrils, so I did that. And then I did a final light check to make sure there wasn't too much light coming in any area seeping through. And I noticed there was a lot of light coming through at the top, a little bit on the chin, and the ridge of the nose. Those are kind of like some of my stronger features, so it's a little bit thicker. So I get it. I'm really glad I let this set overnight because it feels so much more sturdy today. Last night it was definitely really damp after I made the mold. So I would say for people at home, I don't remember seeing that in a video necessarily. That's just now something I kind of found on my own that I want to let this sit overnight. Highly suggest that. But we're going to pour the plaster in there and, first do Vaseline though. Vaseline throughout the whole thing, or oil, so that the plaster doesn't stick to plaster. But we're going to do that, and then we're going to put the plaster in, and we'll be on our way. We're getting there. So I have my plaster of Paris. I'm reusing my mixing bowl last night. I didn't clean it, don't judge me. But this is 2 parts plaster to 1 part water. So I got my little measuring cup, and I'm just going to make a nice kind of creamy consistency before we put it in the mold. I'm also going to do my hands up with some of the Vaseline, so if I touch it, it won't stick to my hands, and I can easily wash it off without a problem. So here we go. So I definitely recommend doing this outside. Oh gosh, it's already starting to kind of set because it got very gloopy. So it was a bit of a mad dash to get ready because I did not know how quickly this would start to set up. But it's pretty heavy. I'm gonna let it set up while I go to work in its little bed that I made it. Just a cardboard Amazon box and some towels. Hopefully it works. It was a little bit crazy because I did not realize how quickly the plaster would start to set. Clearly the morning. Pour the plaster outside because you really start to get the dust flying up in your lungs. So pour the plaster outside, and as soon as you pour the plaster into the bowl with the water, put it in the mold. I waited a few seconds. I think I went inside for a second, came back outside, and it was already starting to set. Crazy. So yeah, don't be like me. So this is my face cast. As you can see, the nose got a bit damaged during the process. The plaster just dried so quick. I was outside and I had a metal bowl, so it was kind of cold, and it started to harden, and I rushed and put it into the cast, and the nose is pretty deep. It didn't get all the way down there, so it is what it is. But I don't have time to redo it, so it's all good. But I covered it with some acrylic gesso that allows for it to really set and things not to stick to it. And then I don't know where my wood glue went. I put a coat of wood glue over it. You probably need to do more than 1 coat, but I really don't have the time. It is Thursday, the day before Halloween, and I need to get it done. So, but as long as it's nice and shiny, the clay should not stick to it. And you should be good to go. I probably will make another one in the future because this is not really the one I want to do. There's so many issues with it. I tried to smooth it down with my tools as much as possible, but it just wasn't doing it. So it's all good. It's a good first starter, and I'll make another one eventually. The clay I got online, it's pretty soft. So we'll see how it works. Gonna add it to this monstrosity and see how it goes. So this is my first layer of just kind of getting the basic shape of everything, and then I'm really gonna smooth it out and make it really nice. But it's already very recognizable. It either could be a witch or Art the Clown, so we're on the right track. I'm gonna smooth it all out, get some definition in there, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So with a prosthetic like this, or a prosthetic mold, I figured it'd be good to prop up the nose because it overhangs a lot, and I need to leave the house, so it's going to be very droopy. I'm going to put a But yeah, I think that'll hold him for now. So here's my setup to put this mold into more plaster and make another mold. And then we will have a mold to put the latex in. It's so involved, and it's very windy. Wow. So my original plan went a bit haywire. Basically, hold on, let me show myself. So don't do a lot of different sources. But this is the plan I ended up going with. I should have just originally watched the distortions video and just called it a day, but it never recommended it to me. So this is a combination of some things from Distortion and another gentleman I watched who made some gelatin molds where he kind of did a negative version of it. And by negative, it means you kind of pour everything over the mask and create a little moat around it, as opposed to making a cast, putting the clay in the cast, and then imprinting it in the plaster. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to sand it down a little bit. There's so many extra steps that I took that I didn't have to take. But going forward, I think I'm just going to do the distortions method, because it seems like it's the simplest. And they've been doing it for like 40 years, so you can't beat that. We'll see how it goes. Well, I did about two pours for the liquid latex. This is what I got with me right now. But I kind of just brushed it on with a sponge and then just made sure that it all adhered to the plaster mold. And then I just took the little quart and just dumped it over and just kind of all let it smooth out and flow over the whole mask. And then once it set a little bit, I did another pour over, just to make sure it's more durable. I want it to be a decent thickness, so I'm pretty happy with this so far. When it comes off the plaster mold in one piece, I will be elated, and I will feel like I accomplished something. So hopefully that will be the case, and we are getting very close to being done with our Art the Clown.